Just do anything?
No, sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling.
102, take two.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take three.
Action, please.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
They've also been celebrated for their art, because French art is great. Hey guys, it's the episode about art, as introduced by Orson Welles. There he was.
You fucking start the intro while I was preheating my oven?
I guess so. David, I hope you're ready to eat up these delectable meals that are these art films. We're talking films about artists or by artists. Kind of a weird category. It sounded like David had a really hard time with this one, because he's a damn fool.
It was pretty difficult.
David, give me your garbage.
It's like semi-garbage. It's not like a terrible film. It's just not a good film. And that is Tim Burton's Big Eyes.
Jesus.
Starring Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz.
Oh, this fucking
it's
list.
A movie. I'm not gonna lie, I watched this movie from the aisle of a movie theater because I was ushering that day, and nobody was in the theater, so I just watched it from there, because I had a huge break in cleans. So, based on a true story about Amy Adams' character who paints these paintings with these characters with very large eyes.
Pull the name.
Oh, you want me to scroll down and pull the actual name? Based on Margaret Keane, who paints these characters with very large eyes, and her husband, Walter Keane, played by Christoph Waltz, who takes credit for it and says that he does it because, it's back in the day, and he's like, I'm a male, and you won't get popular with this if you're a female. Yep, that's the movie.
David,
it's
do you know why we're talking about art films today? It's because it's the anniversary of my
This is your number five. You
Exit through the gift shop.
No
I
respect.
actually watch art films.
Yeah, even if you watch art films, this should be way higher. This is ridiculous.
You don't know the rest of my list, my dude.
I'll hear the rest of your list.
Okay.
It's a fucking crime. This is a fucking
so
crime.
Exit Through the Gift Shop is a big old documentary all about the street artist Banksy. It kind of goes through a whole bunch of different events that he does. You kind of get to see some of the people that he communicates with. Obviously, so much has happened in Banksy's career since then that they could do a whole nother thing about all of his works.
They actually just released a new movie this year, another documentary about Banksy.
This is really good. I'm assuming you will have this on your list, so I can let you go through all of this. One part I really really liked. They do a Disneyland thing in this. That section's great.
Yeah.
But Disneyland's closed now, so it doesn't even matter. What does matter is David's very important next pick on this list. I need to hear it.
My number 4 is a 1/3 of a collection of short films. But these are a little bit longer than your typical Ethan short films, which are 2 minutes.
One of these gonna be on the list. My next film is part 2 of the previously listed.
No, this is the only one about art, I believe. I own the Blu-ray of this. It's the collection is called New York Stories. It has films from directors Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and Woody Allen. This was released, let me just say, in 1989. So certain things weren't brought to light at this point. I believe. I don't know. I've actually never seen a Woody Allen film. I've seen one. Specifically, though, it is the movie Life Lessons starring Nick Nolte as a artist who's also, I believe, an alcoholic in the film. And his...
Could have just said he was an artist.
And his relationship with his protege, who no longer wants to have a relationship in that fashion, and certain life lessons that are learned from these types of experiences, or maybe not learned from. Yep. I don't know. It's a movie. It's another art movie. So it made the list. It's difficult. It's a difficult list for.
I didn't find
me.
this a difficult list. So,
What's your number?
Julian Snabel's film At Eternity's Gate, which is a deep dive into the life of Vincent van Gogh, as portrayed.
Van Gogh?
Yep.
It's not Van Gogh?
Nope.
Says who?
History.
I've only ever heard Van Gogh.
That's all right. You can do your Americanized. It's fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
The reason why At Eternity's Gate works so well is that its director is a painter himself. He's best known for his plaint paintings, which is all. Yeah, it's these massive paintings done on broken ceramics. Really good. Just check it out. But he's also done films like The Diving Bell and The Butterfly. So, you do that as well.
Fucking, I'm like hearing words, no connections here. No, I'm like fucking drawn blank.
You know what he's responsible for? Us knowing about Javier Bardem.
Why?
Because he directed the breakthrough role of Javier Bardem.
What is it?
Before Night Falls.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Was it good? Have you seen it?
I mean, Javier Bardem got nominated for the Oscar for it, so.
Are you fucking with me right now?
Nope. But that's fine.
Maybe I'll check that out. I'm being honest here.
Anyway, so At Eternity's Gate.
I'm learning things.
So good. What I was going into is that it's made by a painter, so it has a lot of texture to its filmmaking portrayal. This is not. It doesn't look like your typical like biopic. It is one that is so ingrained with the art style of Vincent van Gogh. It's so
fuck me up every time you say that.
It's so closely connected to the art and the artist itself. So I found it really, really good, and it's delivered in such a impressive and kind of unprecedented way. We don't really see films told like that. I tried to limit all of my films based off like one artist, right? So I could have also had Loving Vincent on this list, but I decided to go with At Eternity's Gate instead.
Really? Do you like it more, actually?
Yes. I really liked At Eternity's
Interesting.
Gate. Loving Vincent is good, but it's just kind of just a normal documentary with a really, really impressive way to tell it. But the documentary itself doesn't really like do much else. But it's told in a really interesting way. Also worth checking out.
So my number 3 is kind of where this
Well, you actually started putting decent things on your list.
This carriage gets a little bit off the rails, as far as what we consider art, because art is very subjective in nature. Mm-hmm. So my number 3 is film from 2018. Can You Ever Forgive Me? The true story about Lee Israel, a famous forger in literary documents. It stars Melissa McCarthy in a fantastic role, where she is forging documents, which is, I believe in my eyes, a type of art.
Your fucking list, David's killing me. It's killing me.
This actually, I like this film. It's not great. There are other forgery films that are better. You know what? I should have fucking put fucking National Treasure on this list.
Jesus.
Because Nicolas Cage is a fucking artiste. I'm just joking. Ethan, what's your number?
So this was another one where I had two options related to this artist that I could have put in.
This is a clear sign of somebody who has picks for this list and somebody who's like, what's art?
Fucking, this is me when you wanted to do an episode about Ben Affleck. Like, this is my Ben Affleck. You know,
Ben
an
Affleck,
entire medium of art.
What's your number 2?
My number 3, thank you.
Oh, fuck.
Is Kusama's Self-Obliteration.
Literally never even heard of this.
Okay, so it's Kusama is one of my favorite artists. I decided to do one of their actual experimental films. You actually might know some of their work. look up Kusama. Tell me if anything looks familiar. They really like polka dots is like a big thing of their work.
Oh, I know this. I remember.
Yes,
I
yeah.
know the cover that you're talking about now.
The other one I could have picked was Kusama Infinity, which just kind of goes over. It's a documentary just about their entire career. The reason I chose this one is because this one is actually art. It is all about them. You know, it is experimental art films are kind of hard to get into, I think, for a lot of people. And I think this is a really good one that is so visually interesting. And the more you kind of look into what it's supposed to represent, which is all about giving up identity and abolishing uniqueness by covering all things with polka dots. It's just really fascinating. I love this. That's the 1967 film Kusama's Self-Obliteration, which is also fucking awesome title. I really love that title.
I feel like I fucked up. I feel like I totally should have made the stretch and put Man on Wire on this list because that's definitely art. I fucked up. That should be on the list for my stretch list. Really good doc. It's not though, so fuck me. My number 2 documentary, which may be the inspiration for this entire list, and that's Exit Through the Gift Shop, which was my not introduction to Banksy, but my introduction into the deep dive into who Banksy is and kind of what his entire motivations are. And after watching it, I fucking fell in love with this. This is one of my favorite documentaries, and it tells what I really like about this is it focuses on Banksy, but Banksy simultaneously isn't the full focus of this doc. It's also focusing on this guy who kind of connects with Banksy and is inspired by him, but then also kind of morphs Banksy's style, which is so interesting to see happen in real time, essentially documentary real time through this archival footage. And Ethan brings up, the Disneyland stuff is just a segment that's cut in here where you're just
so
holy
tense.
Shit. I can't even imagine thinking this up, but actually actualizing on it and doing it is fucking crazy. Really good doc. It's also a quick watch. Mm-hmm. It's only it's under 90 minutes. I think it's on Netflix right now. Everyone should watch this. This is a great doc. Fucking fantastic. The only reason this isn't my number 1 is because my number 1 is a movie that I am in love with. And we'll get there in a little bit. Ethan, what's your number dos?
My number 2 is,
I said dos.
I think, the oldest film that we've had on any of our lists.
Wow.
Just any list that we've made. That is the 1929 film, Un Chien Andalou. It is a silent and surrealist short film by Salvador Dali. Most famous for one of its wonderful opening shots, or it's towards the beginning of it, where you have a razor blade, an eyeball, a cloud, and a moon, and the juxtaposition of those things haunted my nightmares to this day. The basic, it's one of the best editing things of all time. It's you have a razor about to cross an eye, and then it cuts to a cloud going in front of a moon, and then it cuts back. That's fun. Yeah, it's a really fucking spooky film.
What kind of film is this?
Silent film, surrealist.
No, I know, but
it's an art film by Salvador Dali.
Fantasy. Oh, it's a short. Okay.
Salvador Dali, you most know for his melting clocks and burning giraffes.
I know that. Burning giraffes.
Lobster Telephone. That's another classic. What do you think a short film made by a guy whose most famous quote is, "I don't do drugs, I am drugs."
That's a great fucking quote.
Dude's actually insane.
God, he's got a strong stash though.
It's a fucking wild. Dude straight up looks like a crawdaddy.
Ethan, do you know what my number 1 is?
I do not.
My number 1 is in the running for my most watched film of all time. This is a Happy Place movie for me, especially when I was younger. I really just enjoyed putting this on and watching it because it's such a fun ride. And that is Steven Spielberg's 2002 Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Which follows a famous forger, Frank Abagnale Jr., who, along with being a, like I said, famous forger of U.S. currency, and I believe other currencies, maybe, was also impersonated a doctor, a lawyer, a pilot in the film, and also in real life also was an imposter and pretended to be a conductor for a entire play.
Yeah,
which
David
is
really
fucking
David
crazy.
really took the term artist to its full extent.
I
Just
didn't
put
really-
a con in front of it, and he's like, "That's good enough."
That works, right? I mean, he's making money that is it looks real. He's not making things that are abstract. He's making them perfect. So good they fool everybody, and eventually land him a job with the FBI, tracking down other forgers. I'm just saying is that not art? In some fashion. I love this movie. You get great performances from Leo and Tom Hanks. Man, this really is.
That's
all
of course
connected
Leo Hanks and Tom Hanks.
No, I was gonna say this is all connected to COVID-19. All this entire fucking podcast. I'm just this entire month. Hope you're doing good, Tom. Love you. I love this movie. This is a great movie. You've seen it, right? Do you like this movie?
Yeah, it's good. I wouldn't say it's a movie about an artist, but whatever.
You don't think he's an
So
artist because he's young? Because he's young?
My number one is a film about forgery.
What?
And it's the
No way,
only
same.
film that's been listed about forgery that's actually art forgery. That is one of my favorite films of all time, F for Fake. The Orson Welles
saw
film. It is insanely good. Obviously, it's about Elmo de Hoy's career as a professional art forger, but it's told with so wild of a structure that the film itself is as much about art as it is art itself. It's kind of documentary in the loosest regards. It's really, really good.
Yeah. No, this is very high up on my watch list.
It is so good. They also have a 9-minute short film that's called a trailer, which is almost entirely original material. Just because that's just what Orson Welles was doing. This also has a hoax biographer in it as well, but obviously the main character being an actual art forger. It's so funny when you talk about forgery as an art, and mine was actually about an art forger. You're pranked, David.
I mean, I'm just
David,
saying
your
art
list
is-
straight up sucked, my dude.
I'm just saying art's subjective. I could have put Velvet Buzz on here. Would you have been happy with that?
I
wouldn't
mean,
have
it's not
been.
really about any actual artists.
It's about art, though. It's about films about artists or by artists. It's about artists. Not real artists. I mean, Daveed Diggs is an artist. Jake Gyllenhaal, definitely a fucking artist.
Right.
I
When
could've put some
you
Jim
could have just
Carrey
put
shit on here,
any director is an artist.
though. Now I gotta do my whole list over.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie. This was a tough list for me. I'm sorry. I don't
it's
know
fine,
what to
it's fine.
say.
Hey, but now you have
all
some
have-
stuff you can watch because of my
I
list.
think let's do a quick poll for the audience. Which one of us do you think went to film school?
One semester, my dude. Guess how many of these I watched at film school? None of them.
None.
Yeah, so I don't know. Now it's art. We figured it out.
Should-
We discovered what
Should I
art
have
was.
put Ex Machina on my list because I think they refer to the brain that they put into Ava as art?
Honestly, the Ant Bully is an artist in himself because when you really think, Ant Bully is my
Ethan,
new firehouse dog.
I would say we could set up what our next episode's gonna be
Who
for
fucking
May,
knows?
but I don't think we even know at this point.
don't.
So, thanks for listening. Bye.
We'll see you around, fellas. Have a good one. Go experience art. A lot of museums have you can do virtual walkthroughs. So even though
Can
you
you
can't
actually?
go
I
out
was
and
gonna say-
about, there's some online virtual museums you can go through. Experience art. Enjoy stuff. Watch some movies. Have a grand old time.
Because You know, there's no way to experience art like through your fucking monitor.
Yeah, I mean, I watched The Irishman on an iPad Nano.
I believe
On
they
a
only
bus.
have iPod Nanos. Were you even alive when iPod Nanos were fucking
Yeah.
the new
Were
thing?
you even alive when The Irishman came out? See ya.
Bye.